The unexpected captive. The emergency beacon screamed its final warning before Commander Maya Chen's ship crashed into the purple sand dunes of Xerion. The impact sent her tumbling through the cockpit as metal groaned and systems failed one by one. When the dust settled, Maya crawled from the wreckage, her survival suit intact but her communications array completely destroyed. Xerion stretched before her in waves of amethyst sand and crystalline formations that caught the twin suns' light. The planet had been marked as potentially habitable but unexplored. Now Maya found herself stranded on its surface with limited supplies and no way to contact Earth's exploration fleet. She salvaged what she could from the wreckage: emergency rations, a portable shelter unit, her medical kit, and most importantly, her universal translation device. The atmosphere readings showed breathable air with slightly higher oxygen content than Earth. At least she wouldn't need her oxygen reserves. 3 days passed as Maya established a temporary camp near her crashed vessel. She'd begun mapping the immediate area when movement caught her eye. Structures appeared in the distance, not natural formations but deliberately constructed dwellings carved into the crystal cliffs. Maya approached cautiously, her peaceful intentions clear in her open-handed gestures. The village appeared abandoned at first glance, but she noticed subtle signs of recent activity. Fresh tool marks on crystal walls, containers left half-filled with luminescent liquid, and small footprints in the sand. A sound from the wreckage made her turn. Something moved among the twisted metal of her ship's cargo bay. Maya crept closer, making no sudden movements. Behind a fallen panel, she discovered a small figure cowering in the shadows. The creature couldn't have been more than 3 feet tall. Its skin shimmered with an opalescent quality, shifting between pale blue and silver in the light. Large, multifaceted eyes dominated a delicate face framed by tendrils that might have been hair or sensory organs. It wore a simple garment woven from what appeared to be processed crystal fibers. "Please don't hurt me," the universal translator rendered, the alien's high-pitched sounds into words Maya could understand. The creature, clearly a child, pressed itself further into the corner, its entire body trembling. Maya immediately dropped to her knees, making herself appear smaller and less threatening. She held her hands up, palms open, and spoke in the calmest voice she could manage. "I won't hurt you, I promise. My name is Maya. I crashed here by accident." The child's eyes widened even further, if that was possible. "You speak? But you're a destroyer. The stories say your kind brings only death." Maya's heart ached at the fear in the young alien's voice. Slowly, she removed her emergency rations from her pack and placed them on the ground between them. "I'm not here to destroy anything. I'm an explorer and I'm lost. Are you hurt? Were you looking for something in my ship?" The child, Maya decided to think of them as female based on the translator's interpretation, watched Maya's every move with intense focus. I wanted to see. The elders said to stay away, but I've never seen a sky falling before. Then the big metal pieces started moving and I got trapped." "What's your name?" Maya asked gently. "Kaylee." The response came out as barely a whisper. "My name's Kaylee." Maya smiled, careful not to show her teeth, unsure how the gesture might be interpreted. "It's nice to meet you, Kaylee. Would you like some food?" "I have plenty." Kaylee's gaze shifted to the ration bars Maya had placed between them. Her small body seemed to wage an internal war between hunger and fear. Finally, hunger won. One slender, arm stretched out, grabbed the nearest bar and retreated quickly. The child sniffed the bar suspiciously before taking a tiny bite. Her eyes lit up with surprise. "It's good. Not like the stories at all." "What stories?" Maya asked, genuinely curious about what these beings had been told about humans. Kali chewed slowly, seeming to consider her words. "The elders speak of tall beings who came from the stars long ago. They burned the southern colonies and took our people away. Since then, we hide when sky fires appear." Maya's expression turned thoughtful. Earth's first contact protocols had only been established 50 years ago. Any human visits before that would have been unregulated, possibly hostile. I'm sorry about what happened to your people, but I'm not like those humans. My people have rules now. We come in peace. Kali tilted her head, studying Maya with those enormous eyes. You gave me food. The destroyers in the stories never shared food. Well, I'm happy to share more, Maya said, pulling out another ration bar. But Kali, I need to ask, where are your parents? Won't they be worried about you? The child's expression shifted to something Maya recognized as sadness. They're with the others preparing the deep shelters. When your sky fire appeared, everyone went underground. I was supposed to go too, but you were curious. Maya finished, understanding completely. She'd been a curious child once too, always wanting to see what lay beyond the next hill. Kali nodded emphatically. I wanted to see if the stories were true, to see a real destroyer. And now that you've seen one? The child appeared to think hard about this. You're very big and your skin is strange, only one color, but you don't seem scary. You have kind eyes. Maya chuckled softly. Thank you. You don't seem scary either, though I bet you could be if you wanted to. This earned her what might have been a smile from Kali. My mother says I'm too small to be scary, but I'm fast. Faster than anyone in my age group. I'll bet you are. Maya agreed. Kali, I need to find a way to contact my people and let them know I'm alive, but I don't want to frighten your village. Do you think, would it be possible for me to talk to your elders to show them I mean no harm? Kali's expression turned worried again. They won't listen. When the alarm sounds, everyone goes deep. They won't come out for 7 suns. 7 days. Maya calculated quickly. Her emergency supplies would last that long, but she needed to establish some form of communication before Earth's fleet wrote her off as lost and left the system. What if you told them about me, that I'm not dangerous? They wouldn't believe me. I'm just a youngling. Kali's tendrils drooped with disappointment. Maya considered their options. She couldn't wait 7 days, but she also couldn't force contact with a fearful population. As she puzzled over the dilemma, she noticed Kali shivering despite the warm air. Are you cold? Maya asked. The double star is setting, Kali explained. Night comes quickly here. Without hesitation, Maya pulled her emergency blanket from her pack. The thermal material would keep them both warm through the night. Here, we can share this. Kali's eyes went impossibly wide. You would share your warming cloth with me? Of course. No one should be cold if I can help it. The child crept closer, still cautious but clearly tempted by the promise of warmth. Maya spread the blanket on the sand and sat on one side, leaving plenty of space for Kali. After a moment's hesitation, the alien child settled on the opposite edge. As darkness fell over Zerion, bringing with it a spectacular display of bioluminescent plants that glowed in patterns across the landscape, Maya and Kali sat in companionable silence. The child gradually moved closer to the warmth, eventually curling up against Maya's side like a small, trusting animal. Maya? Kali's voice was drowsy. Yes? Tomorrow, when the first sun rises, I'll take you to the speaking stone. Maybe if the elders see you being kind to me, they'll listen. Maya felt a surge of hope. You'd do that for me? You shared your food and warmth. The stories never mentioned humans doing that. Kali yawned, revealing rows of tiny pearl-like teeth. Maybe. The stories were wrong. As the child drifted off to sleep, Maya gazed up at the alien constellations. Somewhere among those stars, Earth's fleet was searching for her. But for now, she had a more immediate concern. Proving to an entire civilization that humanity had changed, that they could be trusted. The sound of movement in the crystal formations made Maya tense. Multiple figures emerged from the shadows, surrounding their makeshift camp. In the blue glow of the luminescent plants, Maya could see they were Kali's people, adults, armed with what appeared to be energy weapons, their faces masks of fear and determination. Please, Maya called out, carefully not moving to avoid startling them. I mean no harm. Kali is safe. But the adults weren't looking at her. Their multifaceted eyes were fixed on their sleeping child, curled trustingly against the human's side, sharing her blanket. The weapons remained raised, but uncertainty flickered across their faces. The night on Zarian had just become much more complicated. The bridge between worlds. The first sun of Zarian painted the crystal cliffs in shades of rose and gold, but Maya's attention remained fixed on the dozen armed figures surrounding their camp. They hadn't moved for hours, weapons trained on her, while Kaylee slept peacefully against her side. The child stirred as morning light reached them, blinking sleepily before freezing at the sight of her people. "Elder Yarix," she whispered, recognizing the tall figure at the group's center. Elder. Yarix stood nearly 5 feet tall, making him large for his species. His opalescent skin showed patterns Maya hadn't noticed on Kaylee, intricate markings that might have indicated age or status. His 4 eyes remained fixed on Maya as he spoke. "Step away from the youngling destroyer." The universal translator conveyed not just words but the undertone of barely controlled fear. Maya remained perfectly still. "I will, but please lower your weapons first. I don't want anyone to get hurt, especially Kaylee." "You dare speak her name?" Another elder, shorter, but bearing similar markings, stepped forward. "You have no right." "She has every right," Kaylee interrupted, surprising everyone by standing between Maya and the weapons. "She saved me. I was trapped in the Sci-Fi wreckage and she freed me. She shared her food and warmth. She's not like the stories." Yarix's expression softened slightly when addressing Kaylee. "Child, you cannot understand. The tall ones bring only death and destruction." "Yes, Elder, I know the stories." Kaylee's small form remained steadfast. "But the stories also say the destroyers have burning red eyes and speak in thunder. Maya's eyes are brown like fertile soil, and her voice is gentle." Maya slowly raised her hands, palms open. "Elder Yarix, I understand your fear. My people have made terrible mistakes in the past, but I'm not here to harm anyone. I'm a scientist, an explorer. My ship crashed during a survey mission." "Convenient words," the second elder spat. "The last tall ones claimed to be traitors before they burned the southern settlements." "When did this happen?" Maya asked carefully. 3 generations passed," Yarix replied, his weapon still aimed at her chest. "My grandmother's sister was among those taken." Maya's heart sank. Unregulated human contact from over a century ago, before Earth established its non-interference protocols. "I'm truly sorry for what happened to your people. Those humans acted without authority, without honor. My government has strict laws now. We're forbidden from harming other species." "Laws change nothing for the dead," the second elder stated coldly. "No, they don't," Maya agreed. "But they might change something for the living. Elder Yarix, I need your help. My ship is destroyed. My communication array is damaged. I can't contact my people. If you help me, I promise I'll leave and ensure no human ships enter your system without permission." The elders exchanged glances, their bioluminescent markings pulsing in what might have been a form of communication. Callie took the opportunity to grab Maya's hand with her small fingers. "She's not lying," the child insisted. "I can feel it. Mother always says I can sense truth from deception. Maya means what she says." "The child's gift is known," another elder acknowledged reluctantly, "but even truth can be twisted." Yarix lowered his weapon slightly. "What would you need from us?" Hope bloomed in Maya's chest. "Access to your communication technology if you have any, or materials to repair my transmitter. I have supplies to trade, medical equipment, food synthesizers, things that might help your people." "We need nothing from destroyers." The second elder snapped. "Talik, enough!" Yarix's voice carried authority. "The child speaks of kindness shown. This is not the way of destroyers." Elder Talik's markings flashed angrily. "You would trust the word of a youngling who's barely seen 7 seasons?" "I would trust the evidence before my eyes," Yarix replied, gesturing to the camp. The human could have harmed Callie in the night. Instead, they shared warmth. She could have used the child as a shield. Instead, she offers to leave peacefully. Maya seized the moment. What if I could prove my intentions? I have a medical scanner in my supplies. I could demonstrate that I mean no harm, that my technology is designed to help, not hurt. Yarix considered this. You would submit to observation? Gladly. You can send guards with me, restrict my movements, whatever makes you feel safe. I just need to repair my communications. The pulsing communication between elders intensified. Finally, Yarix spoke. You will come to the speaking stone. There, before all witnesses, you will demonstrate your helpful technology. If the council finds truth in your words, we will discuss assistance. Thank you, Maya said genuinely. I promise you won't regret this. As the group prepared to move, Kali tugged on Maya's suit. The speaking stone is sacred. No one has ever lied there and lived. Maya knelt beside her young friend. Then it's good I'm telling the truth, isn't it? Kaylee's eyes sparkled. The elders will see. They'll understand that not all tall ones are destroyers. The procession moved through the crystal valleys toward a massive formation at the settlement's heart. The speaking stone rose 30 feet high, its surface covered in the same intricate patterns Maya had noticed on the elder's skin. Hundreds of Zirion's people emerged from hidden dwellings, forming a circle around the stone. Maya found herself at the center of attention, with Kaylee still holding her hand despite disapproving looks from some adults. Yarix raised his arms and the crowd fell silent. The tall one claims to come in peace, he announced. She speaks of helpful technology and wishes to demonstrate. We shall witness and judge. Maya carefully unpacked her medical scanner, explaining each component as she did. This device reads biological patterns. It can detect illness, injury, even emotional states. It's completely non-invasive. She demonstrated on herself first, showing the holographic readout of her vital signs. The crowd murmured with interest. Then she knelt beside Kaylee. May I scan you? It won't hurt. Kaylee nodded eagerly. The scanner hummed softly, projecting a detailed hologram of the child's unique physiology. Maya's eyes widened with genuine scientific fascination. Incredible! Your neural pathways are far more complex than human ones, and these nodes, she pointed to structures in Kaylee's brain. They're biological quantum processors. No wonder, you can sense truth from deception. The crowd's murmurs grew louder. Several elders leaned in to examine the display. This is how you see us? Yarix asked. As subjects for study. As fellow beings worthy of understanding, Maya corrected. Different from humans, yes, but no less valuable, no less deserving of respect. Before anyone could respond, a younger Zirion warrior burst through the crowd. Elders, ships approach from the void, large ones with weapons powered. The peaceful atmosphere shattered. Panic rippled through the gathering as adults grabbed children and ran for shelter entrances. More destroyers, Talik accused, pointing at Maya. You brought them here. No, Maya said firmly, checking her scanner. Those aren't human ships. The energy signatures are all wrong. Her face paled as recognition dawned. Those are Ravager vessels. Yarix grabbed her arm. You know these attackers? They're pirates, scavengers. They prey on developing worlds, taking resources and slaves. Maya's voice was urgent. Elder Yarix, your people need to take shelter now. The Ravagers won't negotiate. They'll strip mine this entire planet. How do you know this? Talik demanded. Because Earth's fleet has been fighting them for decades. They're the reason I was surveying this sector, to warn inhabited worlds. Maya pulled up her scanner's database, showing images of Ravager attacks. Please, you have to believe me. We have maybe an hour before they breach the atmosphere. The elders' markings pulsed frantically. Yarix turned to his people. Deep shelters. Now take nothing but provisions. As the crowd scattered, Kaylee clung to Maya's hand. What about you? Maya knelt beside the child. I need to try to repair my communications. If I can contact my fleet. The human stays above, Talik declared. If these Ravagers are truly enemies of her kind, let her face them. No, Kaylee protested. Maya's our friend. Yarix silenced them both with a gesture. The tall one has shown honor. She warned us when she could have remained silent. He faced Maya directly. What would you need to contact your people? Crystalline matrix for the transmitter, power source, and about 20 minutes to make repairs. The Elder's markings pulsed decisively. Kaylee, take her to the old communications spire. It hasn't been used since the destroyer times, but the crystals remain. Yarix, you cannot... Talek began. I can and I will. If these Ravagers are the threat she claims, we need allies, even if those allies are. He glanced at Maya, unexpectedly tall. As the settlement emptied, Kaylee led Maya through winding passages to an ancient tower. Inside, obsolete equipment covered in crystal dust waited. Maya's trained eyes immediately spotted what she needed. Can you really stop them? Kaylee asked as Maya worked. Not alone, Maya admitted, carefully extracting a crystal matrix. But Earth's 7th Fleet is only a system away. If I can get a message through. The first Ravager scout ships broke atmosphere with sonic booms that shook the tower. Maya worked faster, sweat beading on her forehead. The universal translator crackled with intercepted Ravager communications, cold discussions of resource extraction and potential slave counts. Kali's small hand found Maya's again. I'm scared. Maya paused her work to squeeze the child's fingers. So am I. But we're not going to let them hurt your people. The transmitter sparked to life just as the main Ravager fleet appeared overhead. Maya broadcasted on all Earth frequencies, praying someone would hear. Commander Maya Chen to any Earth vessel. Emergency code 7. Ravager fleet attacking inhabited world. Coordinates follow. Native population in extreme danger. Requesting immediate assistance. Static filled the air. Then blessed words in English. Commander Chen, this is Captain Rodriguez, EFS Resilience. We read you. Hold position. Cavalry's coming. Tears of relief blurred Maya's vision. But their celebration was short-lived. Ravager ground forces had landed. Through the tower's windows they could see armored figures moving through the abandoned settlement. They're heading for the shelter entrances, Kaylee whispered. Maya made a decision that would have shocked her academy instructors. She grabbed an energy pistol from her salvaged gear and stood. Not if I can help it. Maya, no, you can't fight them all. I'm not going to fight them, Kaylee. Maya checked the weapons charge. I'm going to distract them. Buy time for my fleet to arrive. But I need you to do something for me. The child's eyes were wide with fear and admiration. Anything. Tell your elders what happened here. Tell them humans have changed, that we stand with our friends no matter what. Maya smiled sadly. And tell them I'm sorry we didn't find you sooner. Before Kaylee could protest, Maya was running toward the Ravager forces, weapon raised. Her first shots were carefully aimed at equipment, not soldiers, enough to get their attention, to draw them away from the shelters. It worked. The Ravagers turned their focus to the lone human defender. Maya led them on a chase through the crystal valleys, using her knowledge of the terrain to stay ahead, but she was outnumbered 50-1. It was only a matter of time. As Ravager energy bolts seared the air around her, Maya thought of Kaylee's trusting eyes, of Earth's fleet racing to help, of the bridge that might be built between two species who had started as enemies. She didn't see the Ravager soldier flanking her until it was too late. The stun blast sent her tumbling to the purple sand, weapon flying from her hands. As consciousness faded, Maya heard something impossible, the sound of Xerion war cries. The settlers had emerged from their shelters armed with ancient weapons and fierce determination, and leading them, standing tall despite his fear, was Elder Yarix. The human fought for us, he shouted to his people. Now we fight for her. The battle for Xerion had only just begun, united. We stand. Maya woke to the sound of energy weapons and Xerion battle cries. Her head throbbed from the stun blast, but she forced herself to focus. Through blurred vision, she saw something that defied all expectations. The Xerion people, who had hidden underground for generations, now stood against the Ravager forces. Elder Yarix commanded the center of their formation, his crystalline staff glowing with power Maya hadn't known their technology possessed. Beside him, even Elder Talek fought with grim determination. But they were outnumbered, and their ancient weapons were no match for Ravager armor. Fall back to the stone, Yarix ordered as Ravager reinforcements landed. Maya struggled to her feet, assessing the situation. The Zarians had created a defensive perimeter around the speaking stone, using its natural elevation and their knowledge of the terrain. But they were being pushed back meter by meter. A small figure darted through the chaos. Kaylee, carrying Maya's medical scanner. "Maya, you're alive!" The child pressed the device into her hands. "I saved it for you. Kaylee, you shouldn't be here." "None of us should," the child replied with surprising wisdom. "But this is our home." Maya's mind raced. The scanner's readings showed something interesting. The speaking stone itself was resonating with massive energy signatures. The crystalline structure was more than ceremonial. It was some kind of dormant power source. "Elder Yarix," Maya called out, dodging energy fire as she ran to him. "The speaking stone, it's not just a monument, is it?" Yarix's eyes widened with understanding. "The old harmonizer. But it hasn't functioned since the Great Silence, when my people abandoned the warrior ways." "What if we could reactivate it?" Maya suggested. "My scanner shows incredible potential energy stored in its crystalline matrix." "The activation songs were lost," Yarix began. "No, they weren't." Kaylee interrupted. "Grandmother Aaliyah taught them to me. She said someone should remember, just in case." Maya's communicator crackled. "Commander Chen, EFS Resilience inbound. ETA 17 minutes. Hold your position." 17 minutes. Against a full Ravager ground force, it might as well have been 17 hours. But Maya had an idea forming. "Kaylee, can you sing the activation songs?" "Elder Yarix, I need your people to buy us time. If I can interface my equipment with the stone systems." Yarix didn't hesitate. "Talik, form defensive rings. Protect the child and the human." As the battle raged around them, Maya worked frantically to connect her salvaged ship's computer to the speaking stone's base. The crystalline technology was unlike anything in human databases, but the underlying principles were universal. Energy, frequency, resonance. Kaylee began to sing. Her voice, high and pure, seemed to make the very air vibrate. The speaking stone responded, its surface patterns beginning to glow. Other Zarian youth joined in, adding harmonies that had been passed down through generations. "It's working," Maya breathed, watching power levels rise on her makeshift interface. "The stone's not just a power source, it's a defensive system. But I need more time to—" A massive explosion shook the ground. Ravager heavy weapons had arrived. The defensive lines buckled. "We can't hold," Talik shouted, falling back with a wounded arm. Maya made split-second calculations. "Elder Yarix, the stone can project an energy shield, but it needs a focusing element, something to channel and direct the power." Yarix understood immediately. He raised his crystalline staff. "The Elder Staves, they're attuned to the stone's frequency. We need all of them, arranged in a circle, and someone needs to stand at the center to act as a living conduit," Yarix finished. "It's a death sentence. The energy transfer would burn out any nervous system." Maya looked at the battle, at the brave Zarians fighting a losing fight, at Kaylee singing with tears streaming down her face. "Not necessarily. Not if the conduit can withstand higher energy levels than your physiology allows." Understanding dawned in Yarix's eyes. "No, I cannot ask this of you." "You didn't ask. I'm volunteering." Maya began adjusting her suit's conductive systems. "My people did terrible things to yours. Let me do something right." Before anyone could object, Maya was running to the stone's center. She placed her hands on the ancient crystal as the elders arranged their staves in a circle around her. The children's song reached a crescendo. Power surged through Maya's body like liquid fire. Her suit's systems screamed warnings as she became a living bridge between the stone and the defensive grid. But she held on, teeth gritted, focusing the energy outward. A dome of brilliant light erupted from the speaking stone, expanding outward. When it struck the Ravager forces, their weapons simply stopped. The energy field didn't destroy, it pacified, neutralizing aggressive technology while leaving life unharmed. The Ravagers stumbled, confused as their armor became inert metal, their weapons useless weight. The Zarian defenders pressed their advantage, using non-lethal force to subdue their disarmed enemies. Maya! Kaylee's voice seemed to come from far away. The human was dimly aware of falling, of small hands trying to support her weight. Then the sky lit up with new fire. Earth's 7th Fleet had arrived, led by the massive dreadnought Resilience. Captain Rodriguez's voice boomed across all frequencies. Ravager vessels, you are in violation of Galactic Accords. Stand down or be destroyed. The Ravagers, caught between an armed fleet above and their neutralized ground forces, chose surrender. Maya woke in a Zarian healing chamber, surrounded by soft light and concerned faces. Her body ached, but she was alive. Kali sat by her side, holding her hand. You did it, the child whispered. You saved us all. We saved each other, Maya corrected, looking at the assembled elders. Your ancestors' wisdom, your courage, and human technology. Together. Elder Yarrick stepped forward. His arm was in a sling, but his eyes were bright. The council has met. We've decided to accept your people's offer of alliance. But on one condition. Maya braced herself. What condition? That you, Maya Chen, serve as the first ambassador between our worlds. We trust you. Captain Rodriguez entered the chamber, his dress uniform immaculate. Commander Chen, wonderful timing. Earth's High Council has authorized me to extend formal diplomatic status to Zarion. Full protection, technology exchange, the works. He smiled at the assembled aliens. And they wanted me to relay a message. The humans responsible for the attacks on your ancestors have been identified posthumously. Their families send formal apologies and offers of restitution. Maya felt tears prick her eyes. You know what this means, don't you? This could be the beginning of something beautiful. It already is, Kaylee said, squeezing her hand. The stories won't be about destroyers anymore. They'll be about the human, who stood between us and harm, who proved that even the tallest people can have the biggest hearts. The child looked up at the elders. I want to be like Maya when I grow up. A bridge builder. Someone who brings peoples together. Yarrick smiled, his stern face softening. Perhaps you shall, little one. The universe is vast and we have much to learn from each other. As the days passed, Maya worked alongside Zarian engineers to establish permanent communication arrays. Human medical technology helped heal wounded defenders, while Zarian harmonic science revolutionized human understanding of crystalline matrices. The day of Maya's official appointment as ambassador arrived with both species representatives present. The ceremony took place at the speaking stone, now glowing with gentle energy, a symbol of protection rather than isolation. Today, Elder Yarrick announced, we write a new chapter. Where once we hid from the stars, now we reach for them. Where once we feared the tall ones, now we stand beside them. Beside, Captain Rodriguez stepped forward. Earth's message is simple. We come in peace, we stand in friendship, and we face the future together. The Ravagers learned what happens when they threaten our allies. The galaxy will know that Zarion is under our protection, and we are under theirs. Maya stood between the two leaders wearing a uniform that now bore both Earth and Zarion insignias. Kaylee stood with her, chosen as the youth representative for her people. The bridge between worlds isn't built of technology or treaties, Maya said, addressing the gathered crowd. It's built of understanding, courage, and the willingness to see beyond our fears. Today, humans and Zarians prove that even the darkest past can give way to the brightest future. As the twin suns set over the crystal cliffs, casting purple shadows across the sand, the two species mingled freely. Human and Zarian children played together, their laughter echoing across the valleys. Engineers from both worlds shared ideas. Soldiers who had fought as enemies now trained as allies. Callie tugged on Maya's uniform. Tell me again about Earth? Maya lifted the child onto her shoulders, feeling the small weight that had become so familiar. It's a world of blue oceans and green forests. A place where people of all kinds work together to explore the stars. Like here now? Exactly like here. Maya smiled. Want to know a secret? You're going to be the first Zarion exchange student to Earth. Your parents agreed this morning. Kaylee's squeal of delight drew smiles from both species. As the celebration continued around them, Maya reflected on how a crash landing had led to something miraculous. The Ravagers were gone, their threat neutralized by united action. The speaking stone pulsed with gentle energy, protecting not just one people, but two. And somewhere in the galaxy, the story was already spreading. The tale of the tiny alien girl who begged for her life, and the human who shocked everyone by proving that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its weapons or technology, but in its capacity for compassion. As the first stars appeared in Zirion's night sky, Maya knew that both species would face challenges ahead. There would be misunderstandings to navigate, differences to reconcile, but they would face them together, united by the bridge they'd built from fear to friendship, from isolation to alliance. The universe had become a little smaller that day, and infinitely more hopeful. Years later, when historians from both worlds wrote about this moment, they would note the significance of the speaking stone, how a monument to truth became a symbol of unity, how a human sacrifice activated an ancient defense, how a child's wisdom bridged two species. But Maya always remembered it differently. She remembered the weight of K,